In streets where each day passes with a nation counting its dead, symbols of hope still abound, buoyed by the stories of survival, survival often by the barest of margins.
My heart stopped twice, my kidneys failed, my lungs weren't working. So you could say I've died twice, and I've come back round, and I'm just so grateful because there are many others that don't have that luck. But I'm here, I'm alive.
Alive, 3.5 stone lighter than before his double cardiac arrest and induced coma. Scott Howell from Blackwood was the first coronavirus patient in Gwent admitted to intensive care. He only returned home 5 days ago. Helen, what was it like for you?
Absolutely horrendous. It's the only way I can describe it. There were days that I thought, he's not going to pull through. And I don't know what I'm going to do without him. It was heartbreaking. Really, really difficult. Really difficult. Our little girl is not old enough really to understand, but even she said to me one day, I can't wait for the coronavirus to be over, so Mummy's happy again and Daddy's not in hospital. I was always hoping and praying that he would make it, and obviously we're lucky enough that those amazing people saved his life.
One of the consultants overseeing Scott Howell's care was Dave Hepburn. We first interviewed him a month ago at the Royal Gwent Hospital in Newport.
But I would say all the patients we've got in intensive care are in their 50s or younger at the moment.
Really?
Yeah.
Scott, who's 48, was one of those he was referring to.
He was desperately unwell. He was requiring every bit of equipment that we had to keep him going. Now, he became very close to dying. It's wonderful to see him looking so much better now. He's done brilliantly, and it's such a lift to the team to see him going home to his family.
A family who surrounded him when he was first admitted to hospital in early March, testing negative initially for the virus, only then to be fighting for his life with it days later. In a coma, it transpires. In the week, tens of thousands of racegoers were streaming into Cheltenham.
Well, one of the nurses says I infected 26 people. I haven't had that established by anyone else, but I gave it to my wife, my mother-in-law, my mother, my brother and my sister.
A so-called early hotspot for the virus. In the Aneurin Bevan University Health Board area, they've had 74 COVID patients admitted to intensive care. 23 have been discharged, 19 have died. Among them a young patient whose family they couldn't bring in to intensive care in time.
Unfortunately, I had to give them all the news about the death of their loved one over the telephone. I found that very distressing. I mean, I can't imagine what it was like for them. And the nurses and my junior doctors who were on and myself, we sat with this patient and just, did what we think we would want for our relatives, and that we, held hands, and we were all there with, the loving touch of some people who, just the human touch,
The Intensive Care Society has launched a very hard-hitting campaign highlighting the psychological pressures on staff within intensive care. What toll is this taking on your staff, your colleagues, psychologically? I
think it varies, and not everybody expresses themselves in the same way. So some of us are demonstrative, aren't we? And I will tell everyone if I'm in moral distress, but others will just keep it under their hats. We are used to people dying on intensive care. It's part of the deal. But we've got lots of staff at the minute who work with us. For example, the theatre nurses who normally work in operating theatres on anaesthetised patients, they're working in ITU now for the first time, and this is not their area of expertise. So they're the people I worry about the most.
And then there are the COVID-19 mortality rates they're witnessing. In the most deprived areas of Wales, almost twice as high as that of the least deprived.
So there's always been a big gulf between the health of the richer and the poorer areas. I think COVID is just highlighting that, because we can see that in those areas with poor socioeconomic background, and lots of chronic health problems, who've always been disadvantaged. It's really shown in very starkly now by the death rate there. I'm not a policy maker, but if I was, we should be doing something to address that divide.
So many challenges ahead. But for Scott Howell and his family, it is now about the delicate process of a recovery which has only just begun.
I need to learn to walk again. I've got to go for regular checkups to check my heart rate and my kidney function. But I'm the luckiest man in the world.
Seeing him back here, what's it like?
Amazing, absolutely amazing. To see him walk out was absolutely fantastic. Yeah, we owe everything to the NHS. They were amazing.
As I said to the consultant when I left, I thanked him for saving my life. And I said, I won't just be clapping on Thursday for you, I'll clap every day of my life for you, because I'm so lucky that I met those ICU staff and that they saved my life.
Applause from the hospital corridors to the streets beyond, the now familiar soundtrack of survival amidst the ubiquity of loss.